Hey everyone, welcome back to Black on the Platform Live, where we spotlight Black entrepreneurs, authors, and leaders who are moving the culture forward and making wellness, wealth, and wisdom more accessible to our communities. I'm your host, Jen S., founder of Black on the Platform, your go to directory and community for Black owned businesses. If it's your first time joining us, drop your name in the chat and let us know where you're tapping in from. And to all our returning viewers, welcome back. We're growing this beautiful community nationwide, and I love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. Welcome, Natasha and Andrea. Glad to have you. Today's guest is extra special because he's not just a brilliant creative, he's my very own web designer. Hey, Errol, peace. So, the genius behind the beautiful Black on the Platform website that showcases our national Black business directory, Omari Valentine is the creator and strategic force behind Off the Lip, helping business owners skip the stress and step into visibility with confidence. So, grab your notebook, drop some fire emojis in the chat, and let's get into it. Welcome, Omari. You're usually the one helping others shine online. How does it feel to have the spotlight on you today?
It feels great. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the being put on the spotlight. There's a spotlight put on me. I enjoy that. And I always enjoy interfacing with people, talking to people about what I do. I have a real passion for it, and so I'm happy to share some of that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So let's start with your expertise. What do you specialize in, and what kind of clients do you enjoy working with?
Well, my specialty is web design primarily, and digital strategy. And the reason I put those two together is they're really important. It's really important to think of web design as a bridge between branding and marketing. It doesn't stand on its own, so it's very difficult to just do web design, but then not also really really be concerned about the brand and really be concerned about how that matches with your digital strategy. So I work with all of that. I think it's really important for people, for myself as a professional, and for individuals who are interested in web design to think about how all three disciplines actually work together.
That's beautiful. And I want to tell our viewers if something that Omari says hits home for you, drop it in the chat. I love seeing those light bulb, yes, that's me moments. So we love, and hi, Tashi. Hi, Terry. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. So, Omari, why is professional web design or digital strategy such a game changer for small businesses?
Well, I think that in today's landscape, it's become more accessible than ever. There are many tools. Everybody knows. I mean, know there are tools out there, but they may not, really have a really good grasp on necessarily how to use them and how to implement those in a way that's going to be the most effective for them. But there's so many tools out there now. There's really no excuse for people who were sort of sitting on the fence, not ready to get into it, to just go out there and do it. Web design is, there are lots of web design tools out there. There are web designers like myself and strategists like myself. They're there to help. There are also lots of tools for marketing, for, social media, SEO. There's AIO. There's lots of things out there that allow you to compete with the big boys. And that's really what I'm here to do, is help people compete.
I love that. I love that. We want to compete with the big boys.
Absolutely.
So you make it sound easy, but I know there's a lot of challenges. So many business owners want to show up online, but they get stuck. What are some of the
Sure.
biggest struggles you see when it comes to building a strong digital presence?
I think a lot of what people want to rush to it, and they don't necessarily, it's, and I understand it because as an entrepreneur myself, and being that I coach many entrepreneurs, I understand that there's a lot of excitement in what you want to do. So people rush to it, but they kind of sometimes they skip steps. It's important not to skip steps. So oftentimes one of the challenges that I find that people have is a lack of a branding foundation, like a foundation in what their brand is. What is their brand identity? What are they trying to say? And who are they trying to say it to? It's really difficult to go down the road and try to do marketing without having a good understanding of that. So and like I said, I'm here to help in that regard, because oftentimes I get clients, or prospective clients that are thinking about doing things, and then I get to consult and talk to them more about what their identity is, so that I can understand it, so that I can build the best website possible, and also help with whatever marketing, in marketing initiatives they're looking to do.
I like that you're helping people fulfill their dreams ultimately.
Yeah.
And so there are people who try to do it on their own, the DIY crowd. What would you say to someone who keeps running into roadblocks trying to do it alone?
Well, I would say that it's really important to use your community, like use the people around you that have the expertise. They're there for a reason. They're there to help you. Don't think that you have to do it on your own. I always recommend, when I'm talking to people who are looking at, they may be confused. They don't know what they should be doing. Take a look at what other people in your space are doing. Those who are really successful, and use some of that. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So it's it's really important to understand that it's not just about building a website. When it comes to web design, it's not just you don't just need a website. It's really important to pay attention to what your brand identity is. Because a lot of times what people will do is they'll spend on branding, then they'll spend on ads, but then they'll just throw together something on a weekend. And that's generally not what you want to do, because your website touches so many different things. It really impacts all of that. If you don't have a strong if you don't have a strong website, people aren't going to understand what you stand for, what you're about, what your story is, and they're not going to understand. They're not going to be feel like they want to take actions and transactions on your site when they're confused. So
Yeah,
it's really
speaking of
important.
confusion, you really helped me the other day when I brought you some new ideas and you kind of refocused me and said, if you put this on your site, people might be confused as to what your site really does. And when people get confused, they leave. So you don't only design a website, you also give input and guidance in the right choices to make when putting it out there. So it's I appreciate it. It means a lot to have you partner with me, not just sometimes people hire people from these sites that they do a job, it's a project, it's over. But you've been here with me since day one. I know a lot of business owners, they try to save a few dollars by hiring someone inexpensive or DIYing it themselves, but it often costs them more in the long run. So tell us, Omari, why is it worth investing in a professional, and what kind of difference does quality design really make for a business?
Well, I mean, I think it's really important to think of the site as being kind of like, I mean, it's going to sound, maybe it'll sound a little cliche, but like your digital storefront. So it really is like having a store, and you wouldn't want to have your store be a mess or just confusing. People don't know where to go. There's stuff thrown over here. There's some shelves with random things over there. Like, you want it to be really nice and organized, and also represent you really well. And so it's really important to have somebody who's a professional, who knows that has done it many times before, and knows what that entails. Do that for you. And like, one of the things I say about when people who are thinking about DIYing is, maybe they're thinking about cutting the cost, because there is cost involved. But the way I look at it is, there's cost one way or another. So if you're either paying the cost up front by hiring somebody that knows what they're doing, or you're paying way more down the line when you miss out on those sales, and you're not getting the results, and then you have to, maybe some point down the line, you have to redesign, or you're constantly doing those types of things is costing a lot of money too, and also time, and not time is money. So we don't want to cost you time. We want to make sure that everybody knows time is really valuable, and so we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way upfront.
Absolutely. And um, once they do make that investment, and I actually know the answer to this question because I've asked people that I've referred to you to give me the feedback. But what kind of feedback do you hear from clients after launching their site, or working with you?
Yeah, I think the feedback is really good. It's like, essentially, what I've done is now enabled clients to go out and start to market and feel really good about their marketing. A lot of what I do is, it sounds like it's technical, it sounds like it's art, and it is art, and it is and technical, but it's also about confidence. Confidence is really important, and you want to be confident in what you're putting out there. And if you have a very nice, clean storefront that is intuitive, and is armed with strong marketing, strong SEO, and strong branding, then you can feel very confident to go out there and talk to people and send them back to your site. And you can feel really confident about the content that you put on your site. So it's really about building that confidence, and that's I think one of the biggest things that I can say. I mean, obviously, I can point to clients that are like a client that I have. I work a lot with professional services businesses. With a recent client that I launched their site. I ran some SEO for them, and we tripled their SEO, their Google search results within a couple of months. That obviously that can happen, but it's really the confidence to be able to go out there and market yourself, give people your business card, know they're going to your site, and know you're going to be well represented.
So it sounds like confidence is key, and I have a lot of confidence. People have given me such good feedback around the site that you created for me. They said it's an amazing job, and I can't take credit for any of that. So I appreciate the expertise, and I want to tie in some of our viewers. If you've ever worked with a web designer or even tried to DIY your site, drop in the chat what mattered most to you in that experience and share with us. And hello, Valencia. I see you here. Thank you for your support. Um, so yeah, Omari, your work has like such a distinct feel. It's strategic, it's visually sharp and accessible. What's your approach to designing for your clients?
So it's all in the consultation. For me, I think it's really important to have the conversations, have the discussions. And so a lot of times I work with people who like to have a conversation, have to actually, whether we're in person or whether we're on a video call, that we can see each other and we can have that conversation, and I can learn more about what makes them tick. What is it that your business is doing? What is the benefit that you're providing? And what is your brand identity? And just understanding that, so I can have the best understanding possible. That allows me to then go out and design the best website possible for them. Because the reality is, it's not just about having a pretty website, but it's having something that fits what you want, fits your identity, what your business
Exactly.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so we have a question from Terry in the chat. I can put it on the screen. Let's see. There we go. Terry asks, "Do you help clients establish or create their brand?"
So yeah, I do have expertise with that. Although what I do oftentimes when it comes to, like, if you want like a full brand package, I do
Makeover.
have
Yeah.
that complete brand makeover. What I would do is I'll typically work with you and then bring in a brand designer into the team so that we can work together and do your brand, and then put that, make that package that with building a great site.
And just to speak on that, Terry, Omari has been really great at bringing people in to my network from his network, whether it's somebody to help me with my logo, which I'm still working on for all my supporters, and somebody who works with social media branding. So he has people, experts that work in those areas if you are looking for that as well. And one of the things, even with bringing me support with my legal and my ADA compliance and those sort of things, you made sure that Black on the Platform site was ADA compliant, which I truly appreciate. With more than 42 million people living with disabilities, why is accessibility such an important part of good web design?
Well, I mean, I think that, there are two kind of main things to think about when it comes to accessibility. One is the legal aspect, which is obviously something that everybody just needs to think about if they're going into business. You don't want to be going out there with massive legal holes and legal liabilities. So it's important for people to understand that settlements for ADA complaints, or complaints on websites, typically range from anywhere from 5 to 50,000. And there are companies that go out looking for websites that are not ADA compliant to file claims against them. So it's a racket. It's a business that firms will go out and file these complaints. So you want to be protected against that. Just like having a storefront. If your storefront doesn't have wheelchair accessibility, for example, you can be leaving yourself open to liability. So that's one major aspect. We want to just take care of that right away. Then the second thing to think about is just the usability, right? You want to make sure that your website is usable and accessible to all. so that you just provide the best user experience. So that's really important as well. And so following what's known as WCAG, or Web Content Access Guidelines, best standards, helps to not only protect you against legal risk, but also make your website more usable.
Excellent. And um, I appreciate that. Even for people who are just starting out, they don't know what they don't know. And
Right.
so finding these things out are really helpful.
Yeah.
Andrea asks, Omari, do you eventually hand over the keys to websites you build for clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So I typically do hand over the keys. Oftentimes, when I design websites, I have clients that want me to continue to manage their sites for them. As you can imagine, some people don't. Some people are very, uh, not they're lacking in confidence and the ability to go in and manage these types of things. So I do offer that as a service as well. But certainly, I hand over the keys. So whatever that person wants to do with that site, they can do that. I also obviously always want the best for those clients, and want them to do the best thing for the sites. And I'm always there as as a person that can provide guidance. But certainly,
Yes.
I don't maintain the site, the control of the site after it's done. You know,
And I can answer that too because you have taken on a gradual release process. You weren't like, here, let me teach you everything I'm doing and overwhelm me. It was like piece by piece. You gave me a chance to get confident and then learn how to do some of the things behind on the back end, as we call it, when we start to build it up. I feel like you don't overwhelm your clients. You give them like a bit of the key, another bit of the key until we have access to all of it. Um,
yes.
so I love that, and I also appreciate how you helped me figure out, like, where to go for terms of service, where to go for, the referral automation process. Like, it's not just, some people hire people and they're like, "Do this," and then they're done and they feel at a loss. You have been there every step of the way, and I feel very grateful for that. Um,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think I consider that part of my job, and it's also a pleasure, pleasure working with you on the project as well. But yeah, I consider that just part of the responsibility, because I know that oftentimes when people don't understand these things, so it's really important to make sure that they know all of the potential issues and pitfalls, and that they're able to address them.
yeah, and even, speaking of vision and bringing the vision to life for people who are creating their websites. When I sat down with you on our first meeting, my question to you was, did you believe in the project that I was doing with the Black Business Directory? And it meant a lot to me to find a um, Black web designer because there's plenty out there, and I was really intentional because I felt that as we're laying the foundation, it's like putting it in the right soil in the right hands. And so I appreciate that. And uh, so as people's visions are coming to life, like, what kind of transformations do you see? Can you share a story that shows the impact of a well-designed website?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's often. I mean, yeah, as I mentioned, like I think that I think that you know, anytime I have a client that's looking to do marketing, their website, launching a new website for them will allow them to be more confident with the launch of their site. And I've worked with many clients that are like launching their new business, and they're basically doing they're printing out lots of materials and those types of things. So in situations like that, that's where it can be really really beneficial, because they're just getting off the ground. So I have basically two kind of main types of clients that I work with. It's the ones that are just getting started, and that we launched the new site. Nobody's seen it before, and they have to, like, basically they're getting their brand out there. So I work with clients like in the travel industry, so launching a new business, and then and like same thing. I really have those like to have that kind of a relationship with the client, where I can be part of that launching process. But at the same time, there's also the clients that have an existing business, and they want to improve their site. They want to get more marketing on their site, or they want to provide some kind of the opportunity to make for the customer to make additional transactions on the site. So for those types of things, like I had a business not that long ago that was did repair, computer repair, and they wanted people to be able to find all the things and order, like find all the different devices and everything like that on the site. So just basically implementing that for them. So there are a couple of there are many different ways that I can improve sites. So I do not only brand new websites, but also you know, tweaks and improvements to existing sites as needed.
Awesome. And if you're loving this conversation, drop a fire emoji in the chat. We're all about celebrating great work and real results. And it sounds to me like you will not be disappointed. I see Errol asked, how can we contact Omari? And I'm going to drop in the chat my shameless plug. He's on Black on the Platform, Black
Yeah,
Business Directory, and he would be more than happy to meet with you and have a consultation and see. But before we go there, I do want to acknowledge the style that you brought to my experience. When you think of
right.
a web designer, you kind of think of somebody who's coding or computer science or very technical. And just
Mhm.
even looking at your um, imagery, you always have the ocean behind you, a surfboard, even your video of you, you're on, it's very earthy. You kind
Yeah,
of bring this blend of technical and practical together. And so I'm it's not even a question, it's just a shout out compliment because it makes
exactly.
working with you so much easier.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure. And I always just add to that that I think it's always a good idea. It never hurts to bring your passion to what you do, whatever you're passionate about. I love nature. I love the beach. I love surfing. Like I love, you know, all of that. So like for me, that's my passion. It's always good. It's always good. It helps you get up in the morning, like when you're like, okay, cool, I'm doing my passion. My passion is also in helping people. My passion is also in the art, in making strategic improvements, strategy. So these things are all part of what I do and a part of my passion. I think it's anybody that's interested in getting into business or starting a business or they're running a business. Always go back to what your why. People always talk about your why. Going back to your why and why did you get up and do this every morning? And that's going to keep you, driven and keep you going.
It's interesting you say that because our last guest, Ryan, really talked about how important the why is to keep committed to healthy eating and don't call it a diet. And so our why really drives all of our choices in our lives, whether it's doing a website or eating healthy or exercising, especially exercising. And so I like that. So we need confidence. We need to know our why. We definitely are learning things from you today, Omari. So thank you.
Awesome.
And I know people want to get in touch with you. So for anyone who's watching and is thinking, okay, I need to hire him, what's the best way to connect or get started working with you, Omari? How do they?
Um,
I know they can reach you through my website, but what does that process look like?
Yeah, for sure. So through the website, you can also reach me by email, Omari at offthelip.com. And yeah, let's just reach out. We can set up a, a chat, video chat or phone chat, talk about what you're trying to do, and then we can kind of get the ball rolling from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you probably don't see the chat, but there's lots of fire
Awesome.
emojis going across the screen, people who are resonating with what you've shared today. And it's been good. Time is going fast. We have about 5 minutes remaining. And so um, what would you say to entrepreneurs who've been playing small ball or holding back from really investing in their brand and their online presence?
I mean, I think my kind of top thing is, I mean, a lot of people sort of, they're kind of stuck in like, they have to you have to think about things in a more sort of holistic way in general, and so that means that I need to think about, I mentioned branding, I mentioned marketing. What does marketing entail? Well, it can entail many different things: SEO, social media, content marketing? What is my website going to do? Like this, all this is really important, and having a holistic idea of what you need to do can help you to set a budget. And once you set a budget for what you're doing, then it can be easy to just to like plan out. Okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because one of the things I think people do oftentimes as well is they don't set a budget and they plan based on what they think they have. And really, I think that comes down to what they're prioritizing. But it's like if you, but I think that if you were doing anything else, you wouldn't necessarily like, okay, I'm going to build a house and maybe I'm just going to build the right side of the house right now because I don't have money for the whole house. You're going to save up. I got that. This is the money that I need for the house. Now I'm going to build a house, right? So like it's the same thing with websites, marketing. Do the whole thing and then put it in action. But don't be afraid. I mean, like, you have support out there to help you to gain that confidence. I'm out there. There are lots of folks out there that want to help, and so finding allies that can work with you through the process can be really invaluable.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up allies. I mean, the people who are here today in the chat are my family. They support me through this process, and having them as the support has been huge. And I think you've created a lot of spaces for yourself in the professional space where you've had allies through networking groups, through organizations. And so anytime I'm like, I don't know what to do about this, you're like, oh, I have a guy. Oh, I have a lady, I have somebody. And I think that is what really makes you stand out from other spaces because you do have those go-to people to call on. And because you know them, I trust them because I trust you. And trust is a huge issue in our community, really, to be able to say, okay, I'm going to hire this person and share this dream I have or share this information. And that that is not, I don't say that lightly. Like I've trusted you through this process and it's made it so much easier to go into it that way. So
Great.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I know we have like a minute and I want to try this. I haven't ever tried it before and I'm a little nervous, but I
Oh,
want to see if I can share the screen so they could actually see. Let me try this. Okay, I did it. I'm so proud of myself, although it is very tiny. I need to see if I can make it bigger. No, I don't think I know how to do that live. But you can see if you go to the website, the imagery of the beach, and then down here, if you click on this video, you can hear Omari tell you more about Off the Lip. And so I thought I could do it, but it's very tiny. If you can see how tiny it is, so
I
I'll
want
have
the
to.
I like the website hits. Go on to the website and check it out. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, do that.
So,
There's also the links over here on the right. You can check out directly by clicking that link to take you to his website. So yeah,
sure.
I at least I tried. You're my
Yeah,
first to try this out. Um, and let me go back. Let's see. Okay, good. I'm learning this technical aspect of how to do this website as well. I do this spotlight.
I know you.
S-
I know you have a minute left, but I will also say
Yeah, yeah.
I do want to say that I greatly appreciate you putting this together for the community. I think that there's a lot of great response, and I think it's a service to get people together who are like minded and let us sort of connect on this platform. So I'm very grateful to be a part of it.
I appreciate you saying that, especially lately. As I've done this, people have shared with me, oh, there's this directory, or there's this app, or there's this. And what's unique to me about this space is that we are creating a community. It's not just an app that you click on, it's not just um, a directory. It really is a growth community where we can network together and build a family, especially to increase our awareness of businesses that maybe go unnoticed. And so it's an opportunity to shine. So we're proud to spotlight your brilliance here at Black on the Platform, where we celebrate and support Black entrepreneurs doing incredible work. You all heard it here. That's why I love these conversations, real people, real wisdom, real results. So I see some applause. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Terry. Drop your biggest takeaway in the chat before we close. I love seeing what's resonating with you all. And thank you, Omari, for being here. If you've been putting off your website or struggling to bring your brand to life online, Omari is your guy. Reach out, schedule a call, and let him help you make that next move. You can reach him through my website as well, Black on the Platform. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a spotlight. We have Teresa's great info, Omari. Thank you. And I'm going to close out. Let me see if I can. Okay, there we go. One more. Okay. So I'm Jen S., your concierge of connection, reminding you that visibility creates opportunity, and we're here to help you shine. Stay plugged into Black on the Platform because together we rise. And until next time, stay bold, stay Black, and stay building.